was one game yesterday. It actually kind of felt like a high school state championship game in South Bend. Indiana and Notre Dame in front of touchdown. Jesus, can you ask for anything more? Off an interception from Curtis Rourke in the red zone. All gas, no brakes for Jeremiah Love. He takes it to the house, 98 yards for the score.
This is a different moment, man.
It tied the longest run ever in program history. Notre Dame goes up 7-0. We go to the second quarter. It's 2nd and goal for Notre Dame. Jaden Thomas.
Love the play design.
Yeah.
Love it. Really good job. Selling out to stop the run. Get the tight end behind the linebacker there. Good touch throw by the quarterback.
Indiana really just couldn't get any momentum until like the last 90 seconds of this game. Early in the fourth, Notre Dame up 2 scores. Riley Leonard taking it himself. Notre Dame extends their win streak to 11 straight after that disastrous loss to Northern Illinois. But forget about all that now. Notre Dame is on to the quarterfinals after a 10-point win. This was actually the closest games, like points-wise, of the entire weekend.
Super misleading, though, because Notre Dame dominated the football game. And I said this earlier, just Indiana, what was your game plan offensively going into this game? I mean, how many back shoulder throws do we need to see? I mean, like 6 or 7 versus man coverage. And it just it was mind-boggling to me. So
a lot of credit to Al Golden, though, right? I mean,
Al Golden is awesome. And that's the thing, too. Going into the game, you thought that you were just going to run back shoulder fades against Al Golden and his defense? You think that was really going to stump them? I mean, come on. You got to go out of your way to help your quarterback, who is the best player on your offense. Yeah, plant the damn flag. But very disappointing in Indiana. And, Cignetti, hey, I love you. You brought a lot of juice and energy to college football. Don't go on college game day before the game. Get in the locker room and prepare your damn team because you weren't prepared for the actual game. And your offensive coordinator needs to be a little bit more creative on the offensive side.
And the whole thing about Indiana coming into this game was how were they against better competition? Because against lesser competition, they were dominating. They're the highest scoring offense in the entire country. But Indiana has been held under 30 points and 300 yards in 3 games this season. Guess what those 3 games were? Michigan, Ohio State, and now Notre Dame.
That's right.
Those are all teams that are better. So the question of, are they good enough, blah, 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 this doesn't look great for that point, and there will be more discussions as we talk about it later.
They took care of business. The problem is they just don't have enough playmakers to create consistent separation, and the lack of depth by their football team is really the biggest issue.
Notre Dame, while we've seen them play really great at times, we've seen them not play great. Notre Dame hasn't played in a close game probably since the end of September when they played Louisville. And in other words, they've just been able to play the style of game that they want to play.
Right.
Like they've been able to impose their will on some of their opponents. I'm not so sure they're going to be able to do that against their next opponent in Georgia.
That's the biggest question mark I have for this team. Now, Al Golden on the other end, too. I'm not sure if the defensive line by themselves can get pressure consistently with just rushing force. So we see Al Golden do a lot of different pressure looks and getting his athletic linebackers involved. The offensive line did a great job of blocking. I think it favors Georgia being able to go against teams like Georgia Tech earlier in the year, who do a lot of different things, are very run heavy, rely on their quarterback run, who ran extremely physical and did a lot of stuff formationally to confuse Kirby Smart. So I kind of wonder if Mike Denbrock, will he look at Will he look at that game film and use that as kind of like inspiration for him to create a few mismatches in that running game? Because that's really the success of this offense. I still think that the passing attack is very underdeveloped, and I think Georgia will be able to play very aggressive defense at the line of scrimmage and hold up against their receivers.
And then this is a great graphic that we have for you right now. Notre Dame led for over 55 minutes in this game. When you look at teams in this country who have had the most games leading by 55 minutes, Notre Dame leads the country with 6. So they have been dominant throughout the entire season after their loss to Northern Illinois. And as you mentioned, Sam, the last game, but they weren't really dominant as a game against Louisville. But for the most part, they've had a walk in the park, and they're going against a Georgia team that has been battle-tested to the umpteenth degree.
No doubt. And we'll have a new quarterback.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to lean on. That variable right there of Gunnar Stockton, how is he going to be in his first start in this hostile environment? We don't know if it's hostile or not, but I'm going to call it hostile because when you look at his play in this game when he stepped in, he got off the bench, and the team had more energy. They had more jump when he got into the game. But he didn't necessarily make every single throw, but he made the throws that he had to. And there's a difference when you go from coming off the bench to being the starter and having practice for that all week.
No
the
doubt.
team is preparing for you all week.
No doubt. And that is the biggest question is just, okay, the excitement of the game and going in at halftime, all right, that's over. All right, now you're the guy each and every day at work. How is that going?
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, I think, from the people that I talked to and are pretty close to Kirby Smart and that unit down there, the team totally believes in this guy.
No
right?
question.
And they're rallying behind him. And I think he brings another level of juice and energy that Carson Beck really didn't. Carson Beck, super talented, athletic, strong arm. I mean, he's got all the first round traits that you would want in a quarterback. But he seemed to lack like the energy of really bringing the team and uplifting the team at times, right, with his leadership. And I think that's the one advantage that Gunnar has over him. He definitely doesn't have the measurables and the athleticism to impose on the imposing team, but he does have the leadership. The team believes in him. The head coach believes in him. He's got great character, like you said. And the biggest thing for him, hey, protect the damn ball. Protect the football, rely on our defense, and let ETN and Frazier be physical in the run game and just try to wear out Notre Dame again like you did against Texas.
Those are the two things for every single team in the playoffs.
Yeah. It's really simple recipe to win football
Run the
games.
ball well and play good defense. And we've seen this Georgia defense completely take over a football game. Just look at the Texas film and how they were in that game. So if you're able to get pressure on the quarterback and stop the run, you should be in a great place.
Can't forget about this, though. Marcus Freeman. Really think he is one of the best special teams minds that we have seen this year. Is that a way that he can get his team a slight advantage in certain critical situations against Kirby Smart?
They've had some real problems kicking the ball this year, and I think they just got their kicker back. So that's great news for them as well.
Right.